All right, everybody. So right now we're going to be talking about and finally going to my review of the Weebil S from Zhiyun and basically how my thoughts and especially compared to using something like the Pocket Cinema Camera 6K, and you can also apply this with 4K. As you can see, it's set, it's where to go. I have a lot to say about this gimbal. A lot of good things. Also, a lot of critiques. I'll get to that though in a bit. So let's. I think I'm gonna just go. I'll give you my overall thoughts about this, as well as a little bit of rough with my experience with it, and then what I like and what I don't like. So, if you're not familiar, this is the Weebil S. This is one of Zhiyun Crane's newest gimbals. It's their smaller gimbal, but it packs a lot of weight. It can take a lot more weight than compared to something like the Weebil Lab. It can handle a little bit more weight, and it has a lot of cool features that I'll get to definitely later, but especially like the locking plates. So essentially, my overall thoughts about this gimbal is that it is, to me, a better option than the Ronin S for the pocket cinema cameras, the newer pocket cinema cameras specifically. I still would prefer the Ronin S overall. I think it's an overall better gimbal. I love the transitions and how it just handles and operates much better than the Weebil S. But for the pocket cinema cameras, I think this is a much better offer. It's a lot faster. The setup time is way faster. The travel and how much weight you're carrying when you're traveling is much less. And then just overall, I feel like I've gotten more fun filming with the pocket cinema camera again because of this gimbal. And because of that, I'm definitely keeping it. However, I'm still keeping my Ronin S because this is not strong enough to handle my bigger camera like my C200, which the Ronin S can definitely handle its weight very easily. With the Pocket Cinema camera, all my lenses except for the 18 to 35 pretty much can fit on this gimbal. Now, to be fair, the Ronin S can't balance properly with the 18 to 35. It's just a super heavy lens. I really wish it could, but it is what it is. And overall, what I do love about this gimbal is positive. It is really light, really light. Someone coming from the Ronin S. I was literally last night. I was at you've seen the video that I posted of a underground concert, and basically I just had this was my setup. This was the setup right here, and the Zhiyun Crane and the Pocket 6K just handled everything like a charm. The only downside was that the battery eventually died out, but that's the battery problem with the Pocket Cinema camera, which we all are fully aware of. But for the time I had it, I mean, this thing is so great. And I could hold it all day. I could easily carry this thing all day. So the lightness is extremely noticeable, especially after working with something like the Ronin S, which is significantly heavier than this gimbal. The other positive I love about it is, again, the setup time. And it's because of these different locking mechanisms. The fact that I can just lock each axis in place and just deal with one at a time. With the Ronin S and just the Ronin in general, you have to deal with all the axes at once, which can be a really big pain in trying to get the balance properly. Whereas here, it's just lock these in place. And then if I just turn this off right now, I'll show you. So what I can do is I could just lock this in place. So this is locked in place. Let's see. This is locked in place, and now that's locked in place. So as you can see, they're all locked in place. So if I just wanted to deal with, this axis, I could just focus on dealing with this, getting this balanced correctly. Then I can move to like the horizontal if I want to, so I can deal with this if I wanted to, one at a time. it makes setup so much easier. And then once you get it down, you basically it's like it takes maybe a minute tops to get it set up and balanced correctly. It's, really, you're probably just going to have to deal with this axis the most once you get everything locked down and in place. So setup time, speed. I'm always for speed. I'm always for things that can make my job simpler going on shoots. The other thing I actually like about this more so than the Ronin S is the focus motor. It's actually a really good. It's not the best follow focus system, but it's a really solid follow focus system. With the Ronin S, if I felt like too many times it was too powerful and it would just overrun, and then it would just like kick itself out. It just never could sit itself in place. And then you also kept trying. You also had to keep trying to balance it because, especially with the pocket cameras, how wide they are, you have to sort of position it in a way to where it can sort of help you with your balancing as well. Because if you try to put it on the normal side, which is typically this side, you're already dealing with a left side heavy camera. Throwing that on makes it worse. So you typically have to put it on here, on this side, which we still have to do with the Weebil S, but it's way easier to handle. The setup is so much easier. I don't have to because one of the things that annoys the hell out of me about the Ronin S follow focus is every single time you disconnect it, you have to recalibrate it every single time. It's annoying. This, you don't have to do that. But watch this. It's just turned on, and guess what? Look. And look, it's focused. It works right out of the gate. You don't have to calibrate it. I don't have to calibrate it. I don't have to do any of that. It's just there. Boom. Done. And it actually, even if I was to take this off, I can even still pull focus with just the lens knobs as well. It's not as effective as using the focus ring adapter, but you can still do it, which you couldn't do with the Ronin S. So big feature. Other thing I love about this is the quick release system. So there's a quick release system that basically allows you to just, if you need to take the camera out, you can just pull this lever and then pull the camera off. It doesn't take the entire tray. It doesn't take the entire clip. Manfrotto, it doesn't take the entire plate. It just takes only a piece of it. But you could then click it right back in and go right back to work. Again, little things like that. So these are all little things that make working with the Pocket 6K so much better. I love that gimbal for that. But there's also cons, and I'm going to talk about the cons now. And the big con, it feels, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, it feels, when I first got it, it feels cheap, and it still feels cheap. Like, even when I lock it in, as you can see, like, it just feels like it's going to come loose at any given moment. And so I was very hesitant about the weight, but it held it for all the lenses that I used for the Ronin S. It held it again, the Sigma 1, except the Sigma 1, but the Ronin S doesn't even handle that well with this camera. You have to really offset the balance with that if you really want to get the Sigma onto the Ronin S. But that's fine. I don't use it for that anyway. The other thing I don't like about it is that even though I like the fact that, it's got grooves and everything here, I don't like how everything is like right here at the grip, because then I can accidentally hit the wheel or something, and change either settings or have the camera go, or the gimbal go in a direction I didn't originally intend it to be. So it really just, it's one of those things where it's just like have multiple times where I'm in the middle of filming something, and then I hit the wheel, and all of a sudden the camera's going in a direction that I did not intend it to be, and it bothers me to no extent. But that's one complaint. The final complaint is just it just doesn't transition well when you're trying to go to different modes. Like if I want to go, if I want to go from uh p- pan follow to lock, I have to hit this lever, and it's weird. It doesn't like easily grab. So it's like you're finically trying to get it. So that's kind of annoying. And then if I want to go into uh, light fixture mode, the light fixture mode where you can do the infinite roll, it has this thing where you have to hit the button, and then it sort of just jerks its way into it. It's very it's not natural. That's the one thing I'll say. It's not as natural as the Ronin S, where I can just literally transition into that mode and then go into, if I want to do an infant roll, I can do it that way. You have to actually plan out the shots a little bit better because it's very robotic-y trying to go into the different modes. So that's my other major complaint about the gimbal. But overall, again, the first day I got this gimbal, I was not liking it. I wasn't liking the feel of it. It felt cheap. It didn't feel like it can handle a lot of the things that it says it can handle. And but going through uses of it and just playing with it, I was proven wrong. And it did something that I didn't think most camera it could do. It made me fall in love with the 6K again. Just going in and just being able to just take the 6K out anywhere I want to go. This gimbal system has really made make me love filming and shooting with the Pocket 6K. Not that I didn't love the looks and the images out of it, but just the workflow and just the production of just the work of filming the camera. It takes a lot of effort, but this gimbal has gone a long way to just making me love working with this camera again. Just going in and just flying in and just making smooth moving shots so much easier than the Ronin S. And I'm definitely keeping the Zhiyun Weebil S. I think if you're interested or looking at a gimbal system, I would definitely get the motor kit system. To get the professional kit, the pro kit that comes with the focus motor. You won't regret it. Get the focus motor. It definitely helps in that kit. But to me, this is probably the best gimbal for if you have a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K or a Pocket 6K. To me, this is probably the best gimbal to have with those cameras.